For spiritual aspirants and devotees, it gives great joy to be in the midst of another set of devotees or co-aspirants, because we have no other talk except to draw the needed inspiration from the wisdom teachings of our masters. So it's a joyful thing that we are here, remembering Gurudev, remembering Swami Chidanji Maharaj, Swami Krishnanji Maharaj. And it gives an occasion for us to remember our master, Param Pujya Swami Papa Swami Ramdas, Param Pujya Mataji Krishnabai, Param Pujya Swami Sachidanji Maharaj, and all Mahatmas, a galaxy of Mahatmas. We have all been privileged either to directly come in contact with or to hear about them. Now, coming to the topic of the day, spirituality in daily life. This is the need of the hour. In Ashram and in many places we hear the same thing from parents, that a reshuffle is going on in the minds of youngsters about values, about culture, about spirituality. They are not following what we have been following. They are not attentive. They are not receptive. So what do? The only way we can try to get an answer for this is we try our level best to answer them in the way in which they can understand. And it should never be a tall talk, nothing like a dictum or a dogma. It's a learning process. We also learn, they also learn. Suppose we honestly, sincerely feel that by interacting with the youngsters, by interacting with others, we try to learn something. God is facilitating us to go through such experience so that we get more and more clarity about spirituality. There are so many ways, so many methods that have been shared with us by many Mahatmas. But now what wells up in our mind is the moment we think about spirituality in workaday life, we just think about our own origin and the world's origin. When we come to this world from the mother's womb, we don't bring anything. Even the very birth, the human birth, is a gift of that power. No? Durlabam trayamevai tad devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshatvam mahaburusha samshaya. These are the three things which are very, very rare. Manushyatvam, mumukshatvam, mahaburushatvam. All these three things we have been blessed with. And even the very birth we did not cause. Normally if we ask, how is it that we came to this world? Normally we say, it's our parents. They are instrumental, no doubt. But they have come from their parents. They have come from their parents. So there should be a starting point which our intellect cannot comprehend or reach out. So we go to the Shastras. Wherever the intellect fails us, we go to the Shastras. We try to find out. Just like when we were students of mathematics in schools, whenever we don't get the answer, we put X, and then later on we come to know what that X stands for. Similarly, when we don't know from where we have come, we go to Shastras, especially our Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Bijamam Sarvabhutaram. I am the eternal seed of everything. In 3 or 4 slokas, in 7th, 9th, and 16th, he has elaborately discussed, Lord has elaborately discussed about this Bijam, eternal Bijam. So intellectually we start accepting that we have come from him. One thing we are all sure, the present me and mine in us was not consulted at the time of our birth, at the time of our conceiving. The present me and mine came only later, So even before that, that power has caused our birth. So right from birth, we have been blessed with. And during the 8 to 9 months in the mother's womb, how the power, Parampuja Papa says, the power, he names it as Ram, is the subtle and mysterious power. Birthless and deathless, nameless and formless, he is the indwelling and all-pervading reality. This is the starting point where we are trying to understand the spirit. If we can capture some of the ideas about spirit, probably we might be able to know what is spirituality and then how it can be integrated with our family life, professional life and social life. To be very, very frank, there is no division between spiritual and worldly. Because every time he is with us, this subtle and mysterious power is within us. During the 8 to 9 months in my mother's womb, God provided us to develop more than 200 and odd organs, And the functioning has been set so beautifully that they don't clash each other. And there is a harmonious blend of all these organs. The power behind that functioning of the organ that we keep on thinking. But now Dr. Bhujanga Shetty has very beautifully brought out that one day our heart beats about 1 lakh times a day. 1 lakh times. Do we do anything for that? 6 liters of blood in us travels about 1,20,000 kilometers in a day. 6 liters of blood travels 1,20,000 kilometers a day in our body. That is why from head to toe it is active. In 1 second, he says, 1.2 million of red blood cells are born for the equal amount of blood cells that die. That is why the whole metabolism is going on. The air we breathe contains oxygen which is taken in and purged out the excess of carbon dioxide without even our knowing it. What sort of mechanism is going on? When we eat our food, what is needed for our blood, what is needed for our bone, what is needed for our body structure, they are all taken. And what is not needed by any of them are purged out in the form of stools and urine and the urge to purge out also. So we try to now analyze these functionings are going on in us. If these functionings are not going on, naturally we are declared as dead. So we are trying to understand that subtle and mysterious power called Spirit or God or Atman or Brahman. He is functioning in and through us. Whether we know Him or not, whether we worship Him or not, whether we recognize Him or not, whether we deny Him or not, He is not leaving us. And again, next, when we came out of this mother's womb, whatever is needed for our basic existence, whatever is needed for our comfortable living, both are provided by the two institutions God has set up. One is called Mother Nature, the other one is called society. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the earth on which we stand, the space in which we move about, the 98.4 degree temperature that keeps us alive, sun, metals, minerals, gases, trees, fruits, vegetables, pulses, nothing has been brought by us. Through Mother Nature, He has provided everything to us. Early morning when we get up, till we retire to bed, whatever that makes our life comfortable, which are called creature comforts, that also we have not made anything. We have not produced anything. Prior to our coming, through His chosen instruments, He made the needed discovery, the needed invention, the needed innovation. And that is why we start using the brush, the paste, the soap, the wash basin, the commode, the eatables, the language, the dress, the specs, the electricity, the structure, anything you name. When there was no specs in the world, He made somebody to think about the specs. When there was no roti in the world, chapati in the world, He made somebody to think about it, sabji in the world. Just think. We offer different flowers to Gurudevs. Just see that, the varied expressions. A flower is there, but somebody has to, the intelligence has to work, to put it on a thread and bring it out in the form of a garland, so that as a part of our reverence to the Master, we can offer them. Think. Probably that is why He said in Bhagavad Gita, Bijam Mam Sarvabhudanam. Buddhir Buddhivadamasmi, yes. I am the intelligence of the intellect. So He has been giving this even today. So we are, in fact, when we think about it seriously, we have been blessed with bounteous gifts from the great provider, who not only gave us a human birth, but also gave us what is needed to Mother Nature and society. None of the creature comforts which we are enjoying, including the language which comes out now, we don't know their author. Think about English, for example. Think about the person who conceived A to Z. Think about the person who conceived the conjugation of verb. Otherwise, how can it become universal? There will be only letters. Indefinite, present continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, active voice, passive voice. So many things had been laid down, that is why it became a universal language. Did we do anything? Innocent two letters, alphabets. When they are joined together, what a tremendous effect it has got, meaning. G-O, go. C-O-M-E, come, different. Universally, the meaning comes up, wells up in their heart, See the tremendous potentiality through that knowledge how God has given. In one of his famous quotations, Parampujya Papa used to say, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. When we look at the mic, the mic becomes effective or lively only when the current is there. Current is not palpable, it cannot be seen, it cannot be shown. But it is a power. The power can be felt only through the gadgets. Think about the intelligence of the person in whom, when there was no electricity in this world, and how it now has reached us. So the great intelligence, because of which we are all enjoying all our creature comforts. Right from morning we get up, from our bed. When there was no sofa like this, he made somebody to conceive, When there was no mic in the world, he made somebody to conceive. So we start now identifying. We don't have to look anywhere. All that we have to do is to keep our eyes open, ears open. In this way, whether we are doing the household work, whether we are sitting in the office, whether we are working in the field or factory, whether we are the friends in our society, whatever that is facilitating us to discharge our functionings, it is all a gift by him. He doesn't need any acknowledgement. He doesn't need any thanks. So we are trying to understand this. He is a great provider, who has been providing right from the moment I was a seed in my mother's womb till this moment. When he sang, Tu Dayadu Diyanaho Tu Dani, that is why we say he is Kripalu, Dayalu. Because he doesn't expect anything from us. All that we can do is only to glorify him. In total disregard to the fact whether we acknowledge or recognize, he continues to give us, Suppose we start sharing this to the youngsters. First of all, we should be convinced, So how to, when I know that I am living because of the factors other than me, whatever I think, whatever I talk, whatever I do, should be a payback to him. It is actually not a payback, that is not the right word, because we don't know the right word. Because we can pay back only what is ours, Everything is his. There is nothing that we can take credit of. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Parampujya Papa, in one of his writings, he said this: go to the origin of your and the world life. There starts spirituality. Anything that we see, immediately we look at the origin. You have come out in this form. So, okay, we will repeat the word, though it is defective. Payback. How do we pay back? First of all, we should remember, our me and mine is so strong that it refuses to accept the role of the Divine Being who has been with us, about whom we are unaware of. That is why in Ashram, Anandashram, somebody has suggested, the first one is to try to remember him as much as possible through chanting any of his name. Any name. Need not necessarily be the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam. Any name you are comfortable with. In ashram, for the sake of uniformity, suppose everybody starts chanting their own name, there will be utter chaos there. So in order to have a uniform approach, right from the inception of this ashram, the name is Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Idea is to remember him. Papa wants two more dimensions, so many dimensions, but important two dimensions also to go along with chanting. Meditative chanting, not merely chanting. Otherwise it will slip into a lip level, superficial, ritualistic exercise. First thing is, we are chanting the name of one who is within me. Second thing is, I am chanting the name of one who is making me to chant. If the life force is not there, the life force which is responsible for the heartbeat, responsible for my blood circulation, responsible for my breathing, responsible for my digestion, responsible for my all organs to function, the mind to think. That power, I should remember. He is propelling me, he is making me to repeat. Because so far we have not applied that mind. I am chanting. I am made to chant. That should. We are to reach that stage. Throughout our day, waking time, it may not be possible for any of us to chant. So how do we keep up the remembrance? There we try to bring in 4 dimensions in whatever we do, which is called seva. Seva is not merely helping somebody. When anything we handle, right from the tiniest to the grossest, a touch of love, a touch of gratitude, a touch of perfection, a touch of dedication. Whether we are opening the tap or closing the tap, whether we are brushing the teeth or keeping the paste in its own place, whether we are using the soap or then cleaning it and keeping it in its own place, when we are putting the towel on the towel rod, when we are washing our plates, when we are cooking, when we are sweeping and dusting, when we are giving a shape to a big project, whether we are executing it through a number of other creations, anything that we do at home, in the office, with the friends, we try to bring in this 6-4 dimension. A touch of love, a touch of gratitude, a touch of perfection, a touch of dedication. We can name it. If we do that, we are offering to the Lord Himself. Whenever we do anything perfectly, yoga, karma, sukoshalam. Dexterity in action, efficiency in action, any action. Many of you might know or might not know. Vinobaji, you might have heard. When Vinobaji heard for the first time about Gandhiji, he wrote a postcard to him, and Gandhiji replied certain answers. Again he wrote, then Bapuji wrote, these things cannot be handled through letters. If you are interested, you can come to Ashram, Sabarmati. So, with all enthusiasm, I think Vinobaji was in Baroda only. From here he went to Sabarmati on those days. We are talking about 1910, 1915 period. Unlike the facilities today, he had to travel a lot by foot. And when he reached the ashram, he saw so many inmates involved in so many work. So he asked, where is Bapuji? The person who is cutting vegetables, he is Bapuji. So he went there. Bapuji did his pranams and said, I am Vinoba. Oh, you are Vinoba. Gave him the knife and vegetables. Start. There was no lecture. In a book called Moved by Love, it has been beautifully brought out. The learning is this, without giving a lecture, straight away putting into action, because all these dimensions, whether we are handling it with a love, with perfection, with dedication, with a sense of gratitude. Vegetable is a gift of God through Mother Nature. Knife is a gift of society, Sabji is a gift of society. How it should be cut, what should be the size, and how to keep the plate on, what should be the quantity, what should be the ratio of other ingredients. All these things have to come from Manana, Without telling him anything, when he started doing, first, this touch of love, if it is not there, if the touch of perfection is not there, if the touch of dedication is not there, if the touch of love is not there, what will happen? So we remember, anything is a payback to the Creator, if we can use that word. He will permit us to use any word. So we say, so we take the liberty of using the word payback, though it is yours. You gave me the opportunity to pay you back to your creation. God does not come and receive anything from us. God has not given us anything direct. He has given it through His creation. So we can also pay back only through His creation. So by loving His creation, we love Him. By serving His creation, we serve Him. And these are the 4 norms we try to maintain. Touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude. This is spirituality in workaday life. Anything and everything. In the 15th chapter, elaborately, I have discussed about Purushottam Yoga. Anything that you do, so it should be with this. And one more. Another 3 sets of mantras are out there. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. Nobody is irrelevant, nobody is unimportant, nobody is insignificant. Why? Everything is a gift of Him. So we may be working at home, we may be working at the office, we may be working at the field, we may be working at the society, housing society, residential society, or so many other forums where we associate ourselves on the social plane. There we suppose this comes back to us again and again and again. We will see that the conflicts are less and less. Difference of opinion will be there. But nobody is irrelevant. We try to give space for everybody, Not that we start dealing with everything that I am right, you are wrong. God has given every one of us the wonderful privilege of forming different concepts about rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities. So many are there, agreed. But I should also agree that you also have been blessed with the same thing. It is not that I only have been given. So that is what is called giving space to others. He may have his own reasons to put some hurdles. Suppose I start taking it like that. You will find the degree of conflicts or the pressure of conflicts will be less and less. We may be able to integrate ourselves with everybody. Heaven is not going to fall down, even if we hear somebody's views. And we accept it not because for the sake of anything else. He has his own reason. He is also the indwelling reality. He is the motivating power behind that. He may have his own reasons. Apparently, I cannot agree with that. Because as a sense of individuality which has also been given by him, he has made us to conceive certain rights and wrongs and likes and dislikes. And suppose somebody else comes out with them, I may not be easily able to, but I start thinking now. So I gave a patient hearing. And then this manana should go on. And then if it to be held, we will hold on to it. But at the same time, we harbor no ill will. Even when we have to take disciplinary actions in an organization, no? Even at that time, we will never harbor any ill will towards the subordinates or employees. We are initiating the disciplinary action only because for the sake of the dharma of that institution. Anybody who crosses that Lakshman Rekha, we have to take it, that's all. We have nothing against that individual. We will be able to maintain that balance, though it may be difficult in the initial stages, but it is possible. We may be able to differ at the same time, we may be able to have the same love towards that individual. If we start accepting that it is he who is also there, behind the body-mind-intellect complex, the substratum, the power because of which that exists is the same in us and him. There must be some reason why this particular incident has come up, this particular differing note has come up. So we try to give them a patient hearing. And even when there are times when we have to hold on, we will not harbor any ill will. Later on, when we start thinking about it, we know that we all have got this body only because of our own prarabdha. Every one of us has got this body because of to work out our karma sanchitam. So now we will know that when I try to develop the substratum behind everything, I get slowly get connected with him who is inside. I may fail, I may forget. The Nama reminds. And when we try to practice, this is called karma. Param Puja Papa used to say, outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. When I take up Nama chanting or any spiritual discipline, which all Mahatmas have placed before us, I should ensure that my outer activities, the non-chanting period, the time where I am not involved in the labeled spiritual practice, my activity should be in line with, in conformity with this ideal. He says the inner beauty should express itself in outer activities. Inner beauty should express itself in outer activities. This is called seva. So whenever I go off the track, whenever I fail or forget, Nama will remind me. So this should be the attitude while chanting Rama. So far I don't know that you are there. Though I read Shastras, I hear lectures, I glorify you, but honestly speaking, I am still unaware of your presence inside. Now I know that you are there. Only because you are there, Jivanam Sarvabhudeshu, I am there in the form of life force. Param Puja Papa used to say, life is the expression of Atman. Though seemingly two, they are one. So you are there in the form of life force, you are there in the form of consciousness or awareness, you are there in the form of Intelligence, I am not aware. I have been identifying myself with the sense of individuality which consists of my body, mind, intellect. So I have never bothered. Kindly enable me. Whenever you make me to involve in various activities, at home, in my professional field, with the society, kindly make me aware, please. This way, the Nama serves as a sentinel, that would be the right word, watching us. Whenever I go off the line, whenever I cross the Lakshman Rekha, meaning, but suppose I talk something which I should not have talked, I think something about which I should not have thought, I did something which I should not have done, immediately the sentinel will point out, hey, what are you doing, man? I try to correct myself. So that is why Param Pujya Papa used to say, Nama chanting, when it is done with the right mental attitude, serves to purify your mind. What is purification? The less and less of me and mine, more and more of we and us. That is the measuring rod to what direction we have purified ourselves. Always we normally start interacting with others from our platform, the me and mine platform. We have been asked to go beyond that. And then, whether these two are okay? No. Then as he said, dhyana is. What is dhyana? Every now and then we have to realize that he is within, he is within, he is within. But right from the moment we are born till this moment, we have been thinking only of him as outside, outside, outside. Because in our childhood days, we used to be taken to the temples. We develop a devotion to the deity. With all honesty and sincerity, we pray. And then, proportionate to the faith we have developed, we get some experience also. Ultimately, we place God in a temple and I come back home. That's all. When I go to ashram and I meet a saint, I am inspired. I have great reverence for him. He inspires me. I prostrate before him. I enjoy that company. Every now and then when I am given the inner prompting, I go there, spend some time with him in his presence to go through his wisdom teachings. But then when I come back home, I am back to square one. God is kept in the temple. Mahatmas are kept in their ashram. I am back to square one. So if I have to get over this, all our Mahatmas, after scaling the heights, they said God and Guru are within. God and Guru are within. God and Guru are within. So we have been asked to realize that presence within first, not outside first. How do I do that? The moment I close my eyes, so many thoughts rush in, dissimilar thought currents, which tries to take me out. Under some pretext it takes me out. There the Nama helps. We have been asked to hold on to 3 types of chanting. Whichever, it depends upon the taste, temperament, aptitude, inclination of our personality. First one is this Vaikari, the Nama chanting, just we have heard. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Any Nama, okay? But while chanting, if I start developing to chant consciously, definitely for some time the mind will become controlled. Because the moment you are not aware of your chanting, you become, you have gone out. So in a way, the Nama chanting serves as a fence, blocking the outgoing tendencies of the mind. So for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes it may behave well. Again it may go out. So immediately open our eyes, we again restart. So when we keep on trying, we have been assured that a day will come when the outgoing tendency will get stopped and we will be within the Nama only. When we have reached that stage, we become aware of the chanting, and then the question comes, who is aware and who is chanting? The chanting stops. The witness consciousness emerges. Sarvadi Sakshi Bodham. This is one method. Another method is silent chanting, where the sound will not come, the lip and tongue will move. This is something subtler than the other one. The degree of concentration, the level, it will definitely go up. Again, mind may go out, open, restart, open, restart, open, restart. There is no shortcut. Here again a stage comes when the outgoing tendencies are arrested to a very great extent. It paves the way for the emergence of the Sakshibhava, witness consciousness. And the third method, which Param Puja Papa and all Mahatmas recommend, is the mental chanting. One of the most effective ways. Here the sound will not come, the lip and tongue will not move, but you will chant and you will hear. Here the chances of the mind going out will become definitely lesser and lesser. Okay, definitely for the few minutes you may be able to do it. Again the mind may go up. Open, restart, open, restart. Ultimately it should pave the way for the emergence of this witness consciousness, which is called awareness. And that is the mental exercise through which dissimilar thought currents are arrested, and finally with the help of one thought called the Nama, it goes and takes us to the core of our being. And this is called Dhyana. It need not necessarily be in the traditional way we understand. It can also be in the traditional way. And the advantage of Nama chanting is, it is not restricted to a particular time, particular preparation, particular day, particular place. Right from the moment we get up till we retire to bed, even the period is ever so small. This is how our Gurudev says. While walking, while waiting for the bus, while traveling, while waiting, while eating, we are just trying to remember him, remember him, remember him, remember him. So we have been given total freedom. So these are the three things by which we become slowly aware of the spirit, the power behind us. And because we have got a name and form, it may be difficult for us to concentrate upon a nameless, formless, abstract idea. So that is why, temple worship and idol worship, everything has come. But we also know now that even the idol worship is also a worship to the Nirguna Tattva. Though we say it as Saguna, it is also Nirguna. Because the deity in the temple remains untouched and unaffected by whatever we do. We are superimposing so many things. We are offering, we are taking it back. We offer the flowers and we take it back. We offer Naivedyam and take it as prasad and eat. The deity does not. So it is Nirguna Nirakara. It has got Akara, of course. Nirguna Nirvikara. Shashwata Ananda Swarup. Always at peace, Whether we do Abhishekam with this, whether we don't do Abhishekam with this, whether we offer this payasam or whether we don't do, whether we offer this fruits, always remaining untouched and unaffected by any of the things that we do. We only do it for our own sake, avahanam, and then visarjanam. We superimpose. So here, from the saguna to nirguna and nirguna to saguna, it are all intertwined. So we try to somehow, through this manana method, try to understand the power behind the words which are now being uttered, the power behind the hearing, the power behind the seeing. Like that, we move closer to the spirit. And suppose we start sharing this after implementing it, after actualizing it to a very great extent. That means all that we do at home will have this touch of love. It will have its own impact on others. You are not bothered about the impact, but you will do it in such a way, methodical way, that somebody who starts not observing it, later on will start observing it. So in that way we can say spirituality can be, Papa used to say, spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. God is in the world and acting through every one of us. Unknowingly we have put a divide, this is spiritual, this is worldly. As if we have got an independent will to govern. He has given us a sense of freedom. He has not given us any freedom. By giving us a sense of individuality, He has given us a sense of freedom to act. Ultimately, He is the one who pulls the reins. That we come to know because behind the thought, there is a power. And words are nothing but expression of these thoughts. So behind everything He is there, but He makes us to feel that it is our thought, our word, our deed. So long as we maintain this, we are offering it to Him. It is yours, no doubt. But you have given me a sense of individuality by which I feel these are all separate from you. So I give it back to you. So in that way, whatever we do, when it has this touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude, spirituality is immediately reflected. Spirituality becomes expressive in all our thoughts, words and deeds. For that, Nam Seva Dhyan is the one recommended by Parapujya Papa Swami Ramdas. After scaling the heights he gave, absolutely in a non-traditional way. He was free from all traditions. So there was nothing to obstruct in between. Though traditions do help us to a very great extent in the initial stage, ultimately we have to transcend everything. We have been told so. So we started with the spirituality in workaday life. We are trying to understand what is the spirit within us. And because of the spirit, all thoughts, words and deeds are made possible. And this truth is the truth in everybody and in everything. So, when you say education, we can say that God has brought so many things, raw materials. He wants us now to know how to explore ways and means to make it useful to many people. That is how the concept of education comes. Through various subjects, our mind is made, is trained properly to unearth the rich potentialities lying dormant in all objects And so with a scientific mind, when we go there, we try to bring it out. That is what is called innovation. Huh? And then we try to put two and two together and make it a new product so that it can serve the society in a better way. So that is how everything, suppose we go to the origin of every department of activities in which we are engaged, we will find that it is He who is helping us to widen our love circle. Every act of ours, every word of ours will be an offering of puja to Him through His creation. That is the only thing. When I work for a company, when I draw my salary, suppose I develop this attitude that whatever I do, it is an offering to the Lord. The Lord made him to conceive the company, the founder of the company. The Lord made him to invite applications. The Lord made me to apply for it. And the Lord saw to it that I become an employee. And I am doing whose job? Lord's job. And the Lord is paying me the salary through the relative employer. So that is why in every field this can be tried. And this is how it can be done. And this is how we try to make it a spirituality in workaday life. So whenever children come, we used to say, when you come back from the school, don't throw the bag there. It has served you, The lunchbox has served you. The water bottle has served you. The socks, the shoes, the uniform. If it is not there, so try to recognize it. This is spirituality. Both in chara and ajara, movables and immovables. We try to recognize the important. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. So in that way, and nama chanting, we devise some method by which we are reminded always. Otherwise we will forget. We have to always think about the great provider, who has provided, who has been providing. And all our Shastras, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, they are all serving as a manual. With this attitude, when we approach, suddenly we realize they serve as a life manual for us. But we will not keep it at the intellectual level only. We will try to see that it is actualized in our workaday life. It should be reflected in all our thoughts, words and deeds. So we pray to Him. By myself I am unable to do. Kindly enable me, bless me with that remembrance, so that nothing is irrelevant, nothing is insignificant, nothing is unimportant, because everything is yours. We all pray for His continued blessings, so that we may be able to actualize it, and try to get stabilized in the truth that He is behind every thought, every word, every deed. Today we are deeply grateful to Him for having provided an opportunity to go through these thoughts. So that it will be, you have to keep on, repetitive performance is necessary. You have to keep on doing it, because the mind has not been trained right from our childhood. We have been thinking only about me and mine, knowingly or unknowingly. We have to study well, we have to score the marks, we have 90 plus, we should get an admission in the college, then we should get a good placement, then we should settle down with the family, then we should have building, we should have this, then we should have that, like that, Never it was told to us that we owe everything to Him. So it is difficult for us to remember. So we have to now train something by which, He is there in the form of the manifested world. Not that we have to choose a particular place to go and sit and think about Him. Anything that is before us, whether it is in the form of a flask or a glass, or a mobile, or a specs, or a watch, He is there, He is there, He is there in that form. I should be able to maintain that spirit. I fail, I forget, I see it as only as an object, and I don't treat that it is His form. Enable me to connect myself to You. This prayer also, this intense prayer should also well up simultaneously. And India is a land where we have been blessed with a galaxy of Mahatmas. where they have lived, actualized, and placed their life, inspiring life and mission before us. They are in the form of remembrance in our heart. So we can parade in our mental vision. You scale the heights, Please enable me to scale the heights. By using the word scaling the heights, we only mean to become aware of the spirit, the Atman behind. I start from me and mine. That should go, please. That which is behind me and mine should also come up, for which I cannot do by myself. Only by your grace it can come. Please enable me to do that. That is our prayer. Thank you all once again for patiently hearing this. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om.